Hi family, welcome to Intimate Conversations with Francis O'Brien, healing one heart at a time. How are you guys doing? I'm feeling really happy. I'm in a good mood. It's gonna be a good one. How you doing family? If you hear noise in the background, I always tell you this. May God bless me to be able to get myself a house where I can get a room that I can soundproof. I cannot wait for that, and I can have a proper studio set up, then I can have proper sound, lighting, etc, etc. But I hope you guys are enjoying the lighting. Please don't forget to comment in the description box below. So it's going to be another one. Please forgive me as I fiddle because I'm trying to adjust myself and try to get ready and fresh for this video. It's going to be another good one, ladies, especially for you, because this episode is for the ladies. This episode is for the ladies. So, today's topic is don't date a man's potential. Don't date a man's potential. Right, they are those birds, but this time they are farther away. Okay, then it's okay. But anyway, let's get into today's topic. So, as usual, personal experience. Disadvantages, obviously, of dating a man's potential. All of us are born with gifts. All of us are born with talents that we have to nurture, that we have to, groom, that we have to develop, grow. And there's nothing wrong with that. Some of us do this much faster than others. Some of us take much longer. Some of us just don't do anything. We just talk about it a lot. Now, a lot of ladies that I have been in conversation with have found themselves in this type of relationship with a man, and I've been myself in a relationship with an individual who had a very good potential. I'm sure some of you are thinking, okay, I don't understand what you mean, and I'm not meaning to insult your intelligence, but just for the clarity of everybody in this video who's going to watch it. That's when somebody really has the potential of being something really great and something being phenomenal, but there's just a few setbacks and hitches that are preventing the person from achieving their full capacity, their full potential, their dreams, their goals in life. And everybody at some point needs divine intervention. We all need somebody to come into our lives to help us become, get to the next level in our lives. And this video is specifically related to career oriented individuals. So I am talking about you as a woman finding a gentleman, or finding a man who is still in the process of finding himself and finding his full potential, reaching his full potential. He's still in his crawling stages, perhaps not even the crawling stages, perhaps he's still in the waddling stage. So we're going to be talking about that, and we're going to be talking about the challenges with that. We're going to be talking about how it's really not a good idea to date a man's potential. Now, in the garden, I didn't know I was going to go this way, so I suppose God is leading, and I believe God is leading me in this video and in every other video for that matter. In the garden, before Eve was introduced to the scene, God had given Adam assignments, and his assignment was to work the garden. His assignment was to name all the creatures of the earth, in the air, the land, and the sea, etc. So he had something to do. It is only then that when Adam was full in his purpose and in his mission and his assignment, and in his destiny, I might add, that God looked at him and said, you know what, it is not good for man to be alone. And then Eve was introduced into the picture. Now, it wasn't Eve's assignment to help Adam find his path. And I need you to hear me very carefully, because I will deviate slightly from that. It wasn't Eve's assignment to help Adam in his purpose, in his destiny. Why? Because when God gave Adam that assignment, God already gave Adam instructions of how to do certain things. And that requires a man to have specific time, to have time he has allocated with his creator, with his maker, to guide him as to how to achieve his full potential, how to reach his full his purpose, and how to achieve his goals. It was never really the woman's assignment to do that. Fast forward later, times have changed. Times have changed in the sense that, and I know some pastors may agree or not agree with me, which is okay, because I would like you to leave a comment in the comment section below. As times have changed, women are given very powerful positions of influence in society. And as a result, they are able to really match and assist their partners with goals and things that they want. Say, for instance, your partner is a mechanic and he wants to perhaps get a loan to get a garage. Now, he's been doing this for a very long time, and you know, he's been fixing people's cars and stuff like that, and he's really gifted with his hands, and he knows how to, you know, work around the mechanics of automobiles. So you obtain a loan as a woman, and hopefully you're his wife. And I know a lot of pastors will be like, you must never invest unless he's your husband. Unless he's your husband, not a boyfriend. This is the part where I feel like putting a stamp, not a boyfriend. So you now, as a wife, you require a loan from a bank, and you assist your husband to get a workshop where he can work from, and you know, it gives him a place to work instead of working in the backyard where oil is spinning all over the driveway, you know, and stuff like that. So now he has a workshop designated for him to do his works. He can fix the neighbor's cars. It's a fully fledged business. Husband. So now you are probably when you are dating, obviously you're not you're not married to this person. So this video is specifically for people who are dating. So now you are dating this man, and he's got a lot of talk. And remember, in my previous videos, I've talked and I said men know how to really talk and sell themselves, especially when they know women. I think I covered it in the topic that says, oh gosh, it's one of my, I'm having a thought block already. Holy Spirit, please help me. And my time is also ticking, so let me go back into the topic, which I said is not only be conscious of your mental state of being, but I also said the topic I covered, just because he puts a ring on it doesn't mean that he's your husband. So in those topics, I cover that men study you and men learn you, and they know the things to say and the things that to do, and I mean do, and I literally mean do, meaning sexually. They know what to say and to do to get you to a point where you're like putty in their hands, and whatever they ask for, you will do it. So you go out there and you break your back as a woman of influence, and even if you're not necessarily a woman of influence, but let's say you're a woman who knows how to get her way around, and you know, you're doing all of this, you're very self-sustained, you're very, you know, self-reliant, you're independent, and then you've adopted this individual into your life, all in the name of dating. And all of a sudden you're doing all these things, and you're breaking your back, you're bending over backwards just to try and make this person be something that you want them to be. Now here's the thing, sometimes you can see a potential in a person or an individual that they haven't yet seen in themselves, and you motivate, you encourage them until their eyes eventually open and they become the person that you've always seen them to be. But it needs that person's participation alongside you and your motivation for you to move together in unison. It's different when you are the cheerleader with your pom-poms and you are constantly motivating this person, and they aren't really doing much, and they just find criticism and they find excuses as to why they're not achieving their goals or achieving that which they have said they were intending on setting out. So the challenge becomes, what do you do as a woman? And I know as women we tell ourselves, yo, men are scarce. time is running out. And please go back to my other video where I also talk about, please don't be worried about people's opinions about your life. Like, I think we need to get to that stage now where we really are not moved unless it's by people that are really of significance in your life. So here you are pressured, thinking men are not, are scarce. I need to get myself a husband, and perhaps if I do 1, 2, and 3 for this man, he will love me, he will appreciate me, and he will eventually put a ring on it. Remember, we are talking about dating, dating this particular person, not that you're married to them. Right, so this is you. You have gone all out. You find yourself drawing up business plans. You find yourself drawing up financials to assist this person get a loan. You're the one now doing all the homework, doing all the research, drafting all the documents and stuff like that. Excuse me. It shouldn't be that way. It shouldn't be that way. Honestly, it shouldn't. If this man wanted all these things, honestly speaking, he should be the one sitting down, laboring night after night. You should be the one snoring in your bed because you're going to wake up tomorrow. You've got a job to get to. You need your rest. You have got things, targets, and you've got, meetings the following day, and you've got plans that you need to set in place for your position. I do apologize for that noise in the background. It's really irritating. I hope it's done by now. So you are, you need to rest. You've got a life to build for yourself as well. You've got a life to plan. Remember, you are dating. Both of you are trying to create a future for yourselves, first as individuals and possibly together as a couple, a married couple. So he should be the one laboring, drawing up the plans, creating the designs, asking you perhaps for links with certain people so that he can get there and pitch himself, not for you to get there and have the whole conversation on his behalf for him. And you're like, oh yeah, no, this is my Mr. So-so. And so sometimes you even pretend, you guys are not even dating, just so that it doesn't look like it's a conflict of interest with whoever you're linking your boyfriend up with or your fiance up with. So it's like, this is Mr. So-and-so, and he's here to pitch his business or his idea. And I think it's something that is valuable and we should look into it. So Mr. So-and-so, this is so-and-so. I spoke to him about you. This is a gentleman that would possibly be able to assist you, etc. Now you're the one who's the intermediary person. You're the one who's the middleman. Really. I can say this because I've been there. Yeah, no, it's really sad. It's really sad because the amount of effort that you invest in that person, if you flash back, which is me at a certain time, when you begin to flash back and you think, if I had taken all of that time and that resource and planning and stuff and actually invested it in myself, I would not be where I am now. I really wouldn't be where I am now. I believe the blueprint of relationships starts right from Genesis. I believe that. I also believe that we are living in a period of grace. Perhaps, not perhaps, things have changed. And I believe that indeed, as a woman, when you come into a man's life, you should be an individual, meaning you are self-reliant and you're independent, and your husband is exactly the same way, and you coming together are a formidable force. If there's 2 half-empty cups, one fills the other, the one is empty, vice versa. You will wear each other out. If you two come together and you're completely full, pouring together, it becomes an overflow, either or. That's the point I'm trying to make. So this is you dating a man's potential. Here is the first disadvantage of why you shouldn't date a man's potential. First of all, it's a potential. He is not there yet. He's not there yet. And it doesn't matter how long it takes. It's his path. It's not yours. Don't inhabit it. Don't bring it upon yourself to say, this is also my problem and he is not your husband. He is not your husband. So don't adopt that problem as your own. Don't take that problem upon yourself and say, I'm going to take this, and be so adamant about it to the point that you sideline your own personal dreams and goals. Don't do that. Don't do that. So, the one challenge, it's frustrating when he doesn't succeed. I have been there where I've watched my partner, fall so many times and get up, and I was always a cheerleader with the pom-poms. Oh no, it's difficult. Oh, this and this. It's even more challenging when you're dating a person from a different nationality, probably even a different race, because there's so many external challenging factors that affect your relationship. So if he's always applying for things and he gets declined, and he gets rejected, he gets turned away, sometimes he even gets backstabbed and somebody beats him to it, that type of thing. You have to brace yourself to be the, yay babe, you've got this. Perhaps it just wasn't your time. We'll try again next time. And each and every fall chips away at his ego, and he becomes either a more aggressive person, or he becomes a complete introvert to the point that he becomes a very shell of himself. And watching him morph into those different stages in his life is not something you want to witness as a woman. That is why I say, women and men, it is important for you to be single before you get into your relationship with your partner, because you don't want to be too invested in your partner's life and vice versa, and to the detriment of your own life. That's not how it's meant to be. So it is very heartbreaking and frustrating, because now you are the one who seems to always be investing and motivating this person, and it's almost as if they're living off of you, and you keep feeding them with with the encouragement and motivation and prayers, and that's something you should be investing in yourself. So that is a challenge in itself. It's very frustrating when you're dating a man's potential, because this is the first challenge. The second challenge is you're always forced to understand his predicament, which is also a part of the previous point that I made. You're forced always to keep understanding. I understand. It's a challenge. It's always like this for, men your age. It's always like this from men of your nationality. It's always an issue of men of your stature. It's always an issue of men of your, whatever it is that will be hindering him from progressing. I tell you, it's going to be so frustrating, and it's so hurtful for you as a partner when he doesn't succeed, and you're always constantly understanding. And that was a predicament that I was always in. I was always understanding. I was always encouraging. No, we'll try again. We will get there, don't you worry. It's going to be all right. You're always understanding. And as you're always understanding, what we forget as women is time is moving. Weeks are going by, days are going by, weeks are going by, months are going by. Before you know it, it's like 5 years, and this person hasn't achieved anything, and you're still with the pom-poms. Go so and so. Dating a man's potential is a grave risk of your own time. And that is something you have to be cognizant of the moment you get into it. The moment you hear this person's big dreams and visions and stuff and plans and stuff like that, and nothing is materializing, that's the time where you need to be like, adios, go. Do you know what I mean? It's time to go. You cannot invest so much time in a person and it's not going anywhere. It's either that person is going through an extremely, really like tough stroke or string of bad luck, and it's unfortunately impacting your life. It's bringing you down. It is impacting your life as well, because if it's coming into your finances, then you always have to keep dipping and dipping, and it's bringing you down. If you think of how much you could have been investing in yourself, I tell you, a lot of us wouldn't be where we are now. A lot of women have been put in financial ruts because of trying to understand a man's potential and trying to support his potential, and he hasn't even gotten there by himself. And even if he gets there, you still need to be that backbone behind, because I have seen so many relationships where men are talking in the grapevines and they're like, no, if it wasn't for that woman, he wouldn't have been where he is now. He wouldn't be who he is. He wouldn't be doing what he's doing. It's because of his woman. And then you find out in the long run, when the business eventually kicks off and is very successful, he starts cheating. And then you ask yourself, but why is this guy being such a dog after all his woman has done for him? Chances are the woman has seen the telltale signs. She refuses. You know why? Because she feels that he owes her. After everything she has done for him, she feels that he owes her in that relationship. That's why she's staying, because she's waiting for him to pay her back. And if you haven't watched my video, Nobody Owes You Anything, please go back and watch that video. It also tallies with this point. That's why we stay in these relationships, because some of us are like, but if he's cheating, why is she still staying in that relationship? Like I said, as controversial as it sounds, yes, you don't owe anybody an explanation, but some people are staying there for a myriad of reasons that you may or may not even understand. Sometimes it's it's a relationship of convenience or obligation. Sometimes it's because there's some kind of pact that the two of them have made, good or bad, probably bad. Maybe they're staying there because of their business interests. They're tied in the business together and they can't separate because of it. And separating, and even if they were to live separate lives, the fact that they're tied with the business means they're always going to be in each other's faces, which they won't be able to deal with. So they might as well just stay in the relationship together, living separate lives or having entanglements. Don't date a man's potential, ladies. It's the most frustrating. I have been there. Yeah. And not once, might I add. Let me just put that. Not once. So I have learned. This is why I'm talking about the things that I'm talking about, ladies, so that you can understand. I'm not talking about things that I just... Yes, some of them I hear. Some of them I see, I witness live in front of me. Some of them I'm a living, walking experience. All of us as individuals, as women, we tell ourselves, mine is going to be different. Mine is going to be different. You were not sharp there. That's not my business if you were not sharp there. Right. The other reason or the other downside of dating a man's potential is you become a financial sponsor. And most times, even if the man has a theoretical aspect of the business, you are the financial backbone of it. Let's call a spade a spade. There's no business really. Most businesses don't kick off without some kind of financial backing. There has to be some kind of financial backing, whether it's a government aid, government assistance, government funding, SMEs that are funding SME projects, that type of thing. Or, ultimately you will be the one who is the funder of that business. And that's you taking personal loans. That's you acquiring interest. That's you, and if you default on those payments, it affects your credit. It affects many other things. It affects so many other things. I've been in that situation where you find yourself being a financial sponsor to a man's potential because you believe in your mind as a woman that if I help him, he will boom and become something, and in turn he'll either pay me back, and me helping him is helping us in that relationship. And me helping him, he's going to see that I am a good woman, hence therefore I'm a good wife, therefore he will marry me because he can see. I mean, we tell ourselves a lot of things. We convince ourselves a lot of things. I've convinced myself of these things, and you have to love yourself enough to walk away. I know some of you ladies are going to think, yeah, but Francis, it's hard. I'm not telling you something where I said go into a shop, order a pizza, sit down and eat. It's hard. Especially when you love the person. But you know what, ne? When you grow up and you've had different relationships, you will realize that love is not enough. Not even sex is enough to hold a relationship. It's not enough. It's not enough. Ladies, we need to love ourselves more. If you find yourself being that man's financial backing, that financial sponsor, that bank that every time there's an issue, you come back, he comes back to you and says, hey babe, they need something else, they need like an extra $2,000, they need like an extra $5,000, I didn't foresee this coming, I need to create this, I need to create that, and you're pumping out all this money. Can I tell you, ne? It's very few isolated cases, and I say this, ne, with such confidence. There's very few isolated cases where when the woman is the one that helps, the man is the one that the man comes back and marries her because he realizes that she is a really good woman for him. And read depth into that statement. Men have had conversations in barbershops and they're cutting their hair where they are confessing one-on-one as to why they married the women that they married. Some will confess to say, I don't have a choice, it's because this woman was there for me when nobody else was. So that's not a love issue, that's an obligation issue. Go back to my video of relationships of obligation and convenience and you will see what I'm talking about. Some of these men will tell you that it's because I owe her. Some of them will tell you it's because I love her. You know, some will tell you that they've got different reasons. Imagine if you were the fly on the wall and you heard your man, your boyfriend, having this conversation with his barber, and he says, no, I love her because I'm in a relationship with her because she was there for me when nobody else was. Is that love, or is that appreciation and acknowledgement? To me, it sounds like just appreciation and acknowledgement. It doesn't sound like love. It doesn't sound like love. That's me. So when you are always, you must remember that it's your name that's getting in the mud, in the dirt, when you are no longer able to pay. Because chances are you have a 9-to-5 job, and obviously your income is what you're using as a backing for your application at the bank, for you to get that loan. You are the one who's going to pay it back. He's not going to pay it back until that business kicks off. So until the business kicks off, it forces you to now be committed and to sit on him like a mother hen, making sure that he drafts whatever document, making sure that he creates whatever prototype, to ensure that he goes and makes a presentation, because you know what's at stake. So you have to sit on him double time, because you have invested money in it, and nobody wants to see there. Really, nobody wants to flush money down a toilet. Like, really, nobody wants to flush money down a toilet. We don't. So if you are going to always invest money in this person and still sit on the person to make sure that they do the work, and you're at the same time you're doing your own job, can you imagine how much stress that is for one person? Some of you may sit and smirk and snicker and say, well, there wasn't stress for me. I hope it works out for you. I really do. And I don't mean that sarcastically. I really pray that it works out for you. Most cases it really doesn't. Sometimes you just get the man coming back to you and saying, and giving you back your check that you invested, to say, babe, you know, I'm giving you this. You get the money back and not the ring. And most of us as women, let's be honest, we invest because we are aiming for a ring. Go back to my video. Just because he puts a ring on it doesn't mean he's your husband. Doesn't mean he's your husband. I understand that there are people who are divine helpers in our lives, that God has sent certain people, but this is why I say, when you take your time to get to know a person, don't automatically throw yourself emotionally and start developing feelings for this person, because it will muddle up your sense of judgment. If you are meant to go into this person's life and be a financial aid, then be exactly that, just a financial aid. Because if you cross your wires, you as a woman particularly, we will end up getting hurt, because men, to them, it's a chess game. They know what pieces to move in order to achieve what they want. Us as women, it's not a chess game to us, because our emotions are invested in this. So we have a goal plan that if we help this man financially, then he's going to reward me with a ring, and he's going to I'll be rewarded with marriage. And at my age, I need to marry. I hope, ladies, you understand why you should not date a man's potential, because you will end up with a man that is not meant to be your husband. You will end up with a man that you are not even, if you look at it holistically, you're not even, in love with this person. Chances are you'll develop so much resentment, because if at all his business does kick off, you will be the one now saying, if it wasn't for me, you wouldn't be this, you wouldn't be that. It is because of me. It's not a good thing to say. Honestly, it isn't. But that kind of statement is capable of coming out of the better of us. It really is. And it's not a nice thing to rub someone's face into the fact that you've helped them financially. It's not nice to do that to somebody. If you are helping somebody out of the goodness of your heart, then help the person. If the person turns out to be a snake, let God deal with that person. Let God deal with that person. Ladies, if you find yourself getting into even if it's your partner, please can you make it legal? Draft a document. Even if it means you must go to a lawyer, please protect yourself. Go to a lawyer, get that document drafted, that it must be a contract, a commitment by both parties, that if one defaults, should this business, then they owe you that money 1%. They owe you that money 100%, 70%, whatever the case is. And I have found myself in the relationships that I found myself, you find yourself just, also brainstorming alongside this person. You have sleepless nights, even though you've got a proper job, you find yourself brainstorming alongside this person, because you really cannot afford to risk losing that money that you have gone to the bank for. You can't lose it. So you will do everything in your power. Lose weight, not eat, but you will brainstorm and you'll make sure that you will find that money, and you will you invest in that business just to make sure that it kicks off. Therefore, you're not going to be put to shame, because you must remember, as you're doing all of this, chances of your family and your friends watching you are very high. Even your colleagues at work, they're going to be thinking, so you got a loan, because you're going to mention this to somebody. And if you don't, again, that's double stress on you, and you don't share this load with somebody that can advise you. So people are going to be watching you. So it's double, triple pressure on you, not only to sit on this man, but because eyes are now on you, not only on yourself, but also on you. And you're thinking, I have to do this, because if I don't, and I default, there's going to be so much egg and cake on my face. People are going to laugh at me. I'm going to be seen as a fool. So one, either I keep quiet. Two, I tell very few people, literally a handful of people. Three, I have to work my butt off to make sure that this business kicks off the ground. Dating the potential in a man, and you need to hear it from a female's perspective, because sometimes you guys hear from a male's perspective why you shouldn't do this, why you shouldn't do that. Sometimes these men just come into our lives and take advantage of vulnerable women out of the goodness of our hearts, wanting to help these men, thinking that they're also just as genuine as we are, and the world is not that kind. I've learned the very painful way it's not that kind. It's not that kind. Sometimes you invest so much in a man, they will turn around and backstab you and leave you hanging, and fine, move on with another person. Move on with another woman, and where does that leave you? Heartbroken, depressed, sad, and we don't want those things to happen to us, ladies. I'm teaching you to be strong, to be assertive, and to be aware of everything that happens in your space. There's nothing as painful as being, I think, dumped after you've invested so much of your time. It makes you a very bitter woman. It makes you a very bitter woman, and it's only the grace of God that can erase that from you and give you a fresh start with somebody else. It also kills your trust in men, because you now begin to feel, if I just make the mistake of investing in this person, or making an idea, suggesting or giving an idea to this person, they will do the same thing that somebody else did to me. Do you understand why you need to take your time to get to know a person? You're not obligated to make any kind of financial commitments to that person at all. You're not obligated. You're not related, for that matter. So why must I give you? If it's so difficult, ladies, for you to... Oh my God, family, like my camera died. My battery died. So now I'll have to use the video from my phone. And funny enough, when I was doing the test runs, the camera of this phone looks phenomenal. So I wonder if I should be using this phone. Let's see. But anyway, I've actually even forgotten my wavelength, my wave thought, because the wave pattern, because I was so invested in a point. Next thing I just hear click. Evidence. So yeah, I think I was talking about how we don't invest in our own families as women, and we invest in these men who come into our lives. So it is important, ladies, to identify these factors. It's important to identify these factors. I am no different. I have experienced the same things you guys are going through, and it's been painful. It's been painful. It's been difficult. It's been hard to accept. It's been frustrating. It's been depressing. And I don't want that for any of the ladies that are watching this video. I am helping you learn, to look out for the signs. Give him time. It's even better to say, I actually wish you the best. I really hope that things work out for you. I hope that you get the business that you're looking for. And I hope, I hope that you meet up with people that will be able to open doors for you. And that's it. Honestly, you're walking away from a potentially huge problem. I can't emphasize it enough. You're walking away from a potentially huge, gigantic problem, and it's something that you don't need in your life. You really don't need it. So family, I hope that this has been a very insightful video for you, because it has been very insightful for me to walk through this journey and to learn all of this. That hasn't been easy. It really hasn't been easy. It's taken a lot of talking to God, asking myself questions. Sometimes as women we say, but why didn't God warn me? Sometimes not sometimes, all the time he does. He warns his children, especially when he can see that you're getting, look, think of it this way. If you can see your child who's learning how to walk, go towards a flight of stairs, you are going to fly. You will fly. But if you see perhaps one step and you think, let the child go down that one step, and maybe there's like a cushion or carpet that could pad the child's fall, you think, let it go there. Let it have one ditch. It'll learn, especially after you've been warned many times. Nobody wants to see anybody get hurt, and that's how God deals with us. He doesn't want to see us getting hurt. Why would he, oh, for goodness sake, be happy hearing us lament and cry? The same way he said to the Israelites that tell my people that I have heard their cries and I will deliver them. He doesn't want to hear us cry. He doesn't want to see us miserable and depressed. So think of God this way, in that manner. Think of our Father in that manner. That's how loving he is. He warns us all the time. Sometimes I think, you know what, I need to leave you to learn. I think I've warned you enough, and perhaps if you fall and you get burnt, then you will learn. Then you will understand. Do you know what I'm saying? So I hope this has been a very, informative video for you. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Leave a comment in the comment section below. I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say. I can't wait to hear your thoughts, especially from the ladies. I know there's going to be a lot of talk on this one. Some of you are going to keep quiet and fold your arms and think, wow, this is me. Don't judge yourself. I was there. I was there. Not once, like I said. So we are all human beings, and we must learn from our mistakes. We must learn from our mistakes. And unfortunately, if we don't learn from our mistakes, we'll keep going around that carousel until we eventually learn that we're going nowhere fast and we need to get off that carousel and start walking straight. That's life for you. Right, I am signing out eventually. It's been wonderful chatting to you guys. Thank you for supporting me. Thank you for subscribing to my channel. If you haven't, please don't forget to click that notification bell, as well as you subscribing, so that you won't miss any of the videos that I upload on my channel. Have a fantastic week. I pray that you are blessed. This is Frances O'Brien, signing out, saying deuces, signing out, saying deuces, signing out, saying deuces. This is Intimate Conversations with Frances O'Brien, healing one heart at a time. Until we meet again next time, be blessed, stay blessed always.